tonight would be different. I'd follow her orders, and then when the time was right, she would follow mine, and she wouldn't know what was coming for her. She might have ridden dragons, but she hadn't ridden me. Not yet. Queer lit, no chill. Some crumbs of academia, mostly chaos. If queer lit is your love language, we're fluent. Listen up, babes. We're not here to tease. We spill everything. Listener discretion is strongly encouraged, but honestly, you knew that. Welcome to Cliterature, the podcast. We're back.
Episode 10.
Episode 10. We're so stoked to talk about this book.
Double digits, too.
I know. I'm so excited.
We're growing up.
I know. When we reach 12.
When we reach 12.
When we reach 12. Listen, we were supposed to do one episode a month for an entire year, and that was going to be a huge milestone. But then we started interviewing authors, and so now we've got like multiple episodes. I feel
like we're way past 10.
We're past 12.
Yeah.
So we have over a year of episodes-ish, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah, but we're not at a year
But
yet.
we're not at a year. No, August is a year.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Isn't that bonkers?
It is bonkers.
It's crazy.
It's bonkers that anyone agrees to yap with us.
Or listen. Like, thanks for that.
Yeah,
I figured
absolutely.
we would just be like screaming into the void forever.
It's just our wives and like three other friends.
Yeah, and they only listen like
It's the same 5 people.
in
just
the background when they're doing dishes, you know?
They just let it play on mute.
So that we
for
get,
for the downloads.
Get downloads. Yeah.
That's
and that might be what...
we don't know.
But there are a few of you out there that really seem to enjoy listening to us
Yes.
talk about books. So we are appreciative.
I hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoy making it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's pretty freaking fun.
Yeah, when we started this, we were like, we're going to do this until it's not fun anymore. And I'm still having a ball. Anyway, yeah, episode 10. We are here for this book. We both enjoyed it thoroughly. It was absolutely adorable.
It was adorable. It gave me like You Can't Spell Treason Without Tea and Legends and Lattes vibes.
Yeah.
But spicy.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure the author that wrote You Can't Spell Treason Without Tea did a review, or not a review, but like had a this is an amazing blurb.
The blurb on the front? Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? So that tracks that it gave you.
Yeah.
That.
And if you like either of those books, definitely check this one out because I think you'll very much like this one. Also, you don't read a lot of fantasy.
I don't read fantasy.
I was so shocked because you finished this one before I did, which good for you.
Yeah. Which it never happens. I'm always like the day of. I'm like, hold on. I've got 9 chapters left.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm listening at 4 times the speed
to catch up.
And but you were like texting me throughout this book, loving it. And I was so excited because I was like, maybe this opens the door for more fantasy.
Maybe.
I got so
Listen,
excited.
I don't read fantasy simply because sometimes when things aren't believable, I check out. Yeah. I do like fantasy. I love mythology. I love mythical creatures. I like fun quests. This is fun, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I think that the main character was just so relatable in this one. Like, yeah, she's got magic, but like,
She's also
like
kind of a doofus.
Yeah, she's just like a grumpy little...
If she tripped over one more thing, that poor child.
Dude, oh, man. A trip is always funny. If I see somebody trip,
But when
I'm
you trip and
laugh.
get caught by a very beefy hot chick, even better.
Even better, yeah. How do I sign up for that one? Where do I sign up to
Or
get
you
my...
sign up to get a bodyguard like Hesper?
that chops wood in a tunic that only covers half of her thighs? Yes, please.
Muscular thighs.
Also, when she was chopping wood, to jump forward, I imagine like all of those like lumberjack lesbians all over TikTok.
The lumberjack thirst trap lesbian videos on TikTok.
Yeah, that's what I was
imagining.
imagining.
Which is shockingly hard to say apparently while you're recording a podcast. But yeah, I pictured the same thing. I'm just like the slow-mo chop.
Like huge biceps.
Wiping the sweat off of their brow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the book we're reviewing is called The Impossible Garden of Clara Thorne by Summer in England. The reason that I wanted to read this book is because I have followed Summer England on TikTok and Instagram forever. I feel like she might have been one of my COVID follows, like when we were in quarantine, like everybody started following everybody.
I feel like you talked about this person a lot. Like
she's so,
even before there was a book involved.
Because she's so cute, and she does theater, which I also do theater, so I love that. And she has ADHD and is just quirky and funny and has these like tangents talking about smut and like...
It feels like you're describing yourself right now.
Well, yeah, maybe that's why I love her. Maybe that's why I love her, because we have so much in common. I don't know, but I think that she's adorable. And so when she was like, I'm writing a fantasy and it's sapphic, I like flipped. I was so excited. I'm like,
I think you like scream texted me. It was
I'm
all
like,
in caps.
We're reading this immediately. As soon as it comes out, I pre-ordered it. I was so excited about it. So I was stoked that it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Because it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Good job, Summer.
Yeah.
Because dang, for a debut novel, this thing was out of the park.
Absolutely incredible. So it is about
Clara
Thorne, who is a grumpy gardener in a town called Moss.
Yeah.
It is where she is chosen to live after some childhood trauma. She ends up in this place and becomes the town gardener. To be the town gardener, which is the person who makes all of the food for the town, usually you have garden magic.
Yeah. Which, hold on. We need to pause right here because you don't read a lot of fantasy.
I
So
don't.
this may not have been something that jumped out to you, but it jumped out to me because I have read many books with many different magic systems in them. Some that were more believable than others. This one was a little bit more on the fantastical side, which was perfect for the setting in the book. But I thought it was really unique the way the magic system worked because every person who had magic had... Their magic was very specific to one thing. So you had beauty magic, you had tidying magic, you had kitchen magic, you had garden magic. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like you could just do whatever you wanted with your magic. Things. It was kind of like a specialized career for you.
Yeah,
in a
like
way.
If you had garden magic, you would do something with plants.
With plants, obviously. Yeah, if you were kitchen magic, you probably were a baker or a restaurant or cook in some way. Yeah. So I just thought... I'd never really seen anything like that. There may be other books out there. I just haven't read them. But for me, this was the first time I'd read a magic system based like in very specific ways like this. And I really thought that was kind of a cool thing.
I have read some fantasies, and the ones that I enjoy the most are ones that aren't so complicated in their world building. I don't feel like this was a complicated world to just drop yourself into and accept in every way.
This was a cozy read. It wasn't like you had to take notes and pay attention, and there was
like that was my whole
a hierarchy
issue.
that you had to learn.
That was my whole issue with Time War. When we read This Is How You Lose the Time War, like I know it was a novella, but I was like, I need so much more context. I have no idea what's happening. Like, why are they fighting this war? What do they stand
for?
The
goal?
Like, what's the
How
goal?
Do you win?
Like, I had so many questions, and that book just dropped you in the middle and was like, accept this and read it as is.
And in a way, you got dropped into this.
That's what I was going to say. In this one, you did get dropped into the world, but along the way, there were enough breadcrumbs to like let you know what was happening, what had happened, and why it was set up the way that it was.
So yeah, I mean, there was kind of like a system that you had to follow, but it really eased you into it, and it wasn't very complicated. And I think that... and the world itself, like the geography of it wasn't super complicated. Yeah. There was, a whole journey. So you pass through multiple towns and kind of different worlds within those and dangers. Everything from like a Caribbean style port city to underworld mermaid town.
Which was freaking cool.
Oh man, the mermaids in this are dope.
Oh my God. Yeah. So dope. I had a whole conversation with my 7-year-old about mermaids and how they're like actually savage.
Yeah.
And they like kill. I was like, they kill hellhounds. They like drag them down
with their teeth,
rip
apparently.
them apart.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Her face was just like, what? And I'm like, yeah, they're beautiful and
deadly.
And she's like, what? And she was
this
so
is not Ariel, guys.
Yeah,
this is I also loved that there were a lot of different types of people represented in this. You had Clara, she was a human. There were lots of different humans. But then her best friend Rosie was an orc. Mm-hmm. And there were dwarves and pixies and mermaids. And all kinds of people.
Sears.
Yeah. And so I think that I really love the diversity in that. And also there was multiple instances of all kinds of flavors of queerness to the point that like I felt like it just was. It wasn't even something that jumped out of the page. Like they were talking about when she was in Dwindle, the like tavern owner and his husband. Yeah. And like it just, you know.
I love that so much. I love that so much when books just, they don't make a big deal out of it. Because I've read books before that are like, we're queer, and we're queer because of XYZ, and this is why it's a queer book, you know? Yeah. Like, and people just do it kind of like to check a box, and I don't feel like this was that at all. No. I feel like this book was very much just like, this is the norm.
This is everybody how the loves world everybody. Should be. This is how, yeah, exactly. And I love that very much, that there was lots of different representations throughout the book of that. But we have skipped over a very important person.
Oh, yeah. Well, we need to talk about it. Yeah. Okay, so the premise of the book, it follows Clara Thorne. She lives in this town of Moss. She's the town gardener. And every 3 years, there's this celebration for the goddess that protects the realm. Her name is Eldrine, and the town gardener has to grow a tulip, and it's part of her crown for the whole year. And they have this whole festival, and it's adorable. But at this festival every 3 years, Eldrine sends someone on a quest. Yeah. It doesn't specify if it's like life-threatening quests or whatever they are. But this one...
They did talk about like technically they can be life-threatening, but most of the time they're pretty tame.
Yeah, and they come back. I'm not sure what the purpose of having a quest is, but maybe it's just like a fun little bonus. Like,
or it's like to stretch your power and show people that you're still the boss kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, she sends someone on a quest every year. And this year, she sends Clara. Thorne on a quest to the town of Dwindle, and all she has to do is grow a garden. Yeah. And that sounds very simple.
She has 1 month to grow a garden.
Yeah, 1 month.
And for someone with garden magic, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
No problem. Just go to Dwindle and grow a garden.
Clara doesn't have normal garden magic. And she's known this the entire time. Yeah. Because prior to stepping foot in Moss, she had no magic whatsoever.
Right.
Or at least she thought.
Yeah.
And so she thinks that her magic is tied to Moss. Because every time she steps foot outside of Moss, which has been few and far between, her magic stops working. Magic.
Yeah. So she thinks that it's Moss's magic that she's just able to work.
Yeah.
And so she's terrified because she's like, oh yeah, town gardener, I'm just going to go to Dwindle and grow a garden. How am I going to do that without having any magic?
And she's a very successful town gardener in Moss. But she knows that she has to work much harder than most town gardeners do.
Right.
And a lot of that has to do with her planning. So, I mean, we love a girl with a system. I picture her having like a planner and like drawing diagrams of the gardens and like getting very analog with it. Or at least that's what, in my head, that's what happened. Girl's got a notebook and a pencil for that.
Yeah. Well, she does journal all the time.
Yeah, she does journal all the time. But she also has noticed that, like, if she's in a bad mood or she gets angry or she gets really sad, instead of plants thriving, she has the opposite effect on them.
Right.
And so she has killed her fair share of plants as well, which is not something that normal garden magic, I feel like, does.
No, right. Yeah. So for this quest, Eldrine gives her a protector, and the protector's name is Hesper, and she's hot as fuck. Okay, I didn't see any photos, but in my mind, hot as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I picture like just Viking kind of chick a little bit, but in like a fantasy way. So like Dungeons and Dragons Viking, basically.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. Love that. Yeah, but super hot. Clara's pissed that she's got to go on this quest.
She hates this person already.
Also, she's just grumpy all the time. Can we talk about
when you said grumpy gardener? I was like, that is accurate. Yes,
it's so cute though. It's like it's the kind of grumpy that, you know, like if you're with your partner and like you get mad and they're like, you're so cute when you're mad, and you're like, oh, like I'm actually mad. I'm not trying to be cute at all, you know.
But
like,
you're still being adorable.
But you're still being adorable. Like that's how I picture her all the time, and I feel like that's how Hesper kind of deals.
And I feel like Hesper's just over there smirking.
Yeah.
The entire
She's
time.
Like, you're hungry, aren't you, princess? Like, and she calls her princess the entire time, which is adorable. And she's like, don't call me princess. And she was like, well, then don't look like one.
Don't look like one.
And she's like, oh,
how dare you?
How dare you say I look like a princess?
And stand there with your muscles.
So they're like, I feel like I just imagine her arms crossed, like, or she's stomping
she like
her
stomped
foot.
her foot
like,
like a petulant child. Yeah.
So freaking cute.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. But so those two together, their little back and forth, this grumpy sunshine is the grumpiest of the sunshines.
Yeah.
Like, I loved it so much.
And I wouldn't even necessarily like classify Hesper as a sunshine.
Yeah.
But she's definitely not grumpy. I think she's just more of like...
She has eternal optimism.
Oh,
I do think that she's very optimistic in contrast.
General. Yeah, definitely in contrast
Clara.
to Grumpy Gardener Clara.
Yeah.
We have to also talk about one of the first physical attributes outside of her muscles.
Yeah.
That Clara mentions is a scar on Hesper's lip.
Yeah. Oh.
And I know immediately where both of our minds went. Yeah. Would you like to say it?
Yeah. Okay. No, you go for it, because I feel like I would just wreck the...
Haley and I have a mutual love for a certain fictional character and slightly the real life actress who plays said fictional character.
Yes.
Haley and I have a big thing for Regina Mills, or the evil queen from Once Upon a Time.
Oh my God, guys.
And Lana Parrilla, the actress who plays this character, in real life has a lip scar.
Yes.
A pretty prominent lip scar. And it carries over into the role that she played in the show. It's there.
It's there. And it's beautiful. Oh my God. It's so beautiful. It's like the prettiest scar I've
ever seen. And if you've
seen.
ever read Once Upon a Time fan fiction, there are entire sonnets written
to this lip scar.
And when I tell you Jesus wept, it's a thing of beauty. And so immediately when Clara says this, I'm like, oh
no.
That's what I picture in my head.
Yeah. Oh my
and she's
God.
like, I just want to lick it. And I was like,
yeah, I feel that.
Same, girl.
I understand that sentiment.
Yeah.
I loved Clara's inner monologue. Like, I loved being inside of her head, because she would be saying, like, I'm not going to notice her lip scar and how I want to lick it. I'm not going to notice. I'm going to ignore her muscles.
She has infuriated me, and I'm also slightly aroused, but I'm going to ignore
it. Like, the whole time she's like...
It's like she's arguing with herself constantly.
Which is a real thing.
I argue with myself all the time.
I do too. I even do it out loud. I might be a little bit more crazy than most people, but I have full conversations.
Well, you and me, yeah.
In my car.
I think I have them at home. I work from home by myself, and it's just me and the dogs. And so, I will out loud talk to myself quite frequently. So I'm glad nobody's there to witness it. But yeah. But yeah, Hesper's a hottie. Yeah. We've established that.
Yeah. So she gets a few weeks in Moss to get all of her ducks in a row, figure out who is going to replace her while she's gone, because she's going to be gone for a month, and somebody has to grow food for Moss while she's gone, because she's the gardener. And this whole time, Hesper has to stay with her in her cottage, because Eldrine is like, okay, your quest starts now. Like, you can't leave Clara.
Yeah. Your job starts now, whether she's on this quest yet or not.
Right. So Clara's like, you're not staying in my cottage.
Yeah.
You can sleep on the floor. Like, you're not sleeping in my bed.
You're not sleeping in my bed. Yeah.
Yeah. But their little back and forth is just absolutely adorable. So when they finally go out on this quest, start out on the quest, you've had 3 weeks of them. I
think it was 2 weeks, but
yeah. Their banter is just top notch.
But her quest to find a town gardener it ended to me in a very funny way, because her best friend Rosie came through with the person, and it was Patty who owns the local florist, it sounded like, but was also Rosie's crush, and they were adorably stupid together.
Yeah, and awkward, and couldn't
Patty
speak
and
to each
Rosie
other.
would just stammer and just completely brain glitch anytime they looked at each other. And it was one of the most adorable things in this adorable book to me.
It was really cute.
And then it happens again in Dwindle with Angus and Giddy, and which was also adorable, because they were just as bumbling and idiotic about liking each other as Rosie and Patty was.
Yeah.
And I think as side quest stories, those just cracked me up, because I love just idiots in love, I think.
It's so sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing, too. I feel like a lot of Clara's issue with getting close to people or protecting her heart, she talks about protecting her heart the entire time, because she knows that her magic is connected to her heart and her emotions. And so to be a good gardener and to be a good person in general, she has to protect her heart at all costs.
Yeah.
And it talks about her past with her parents, and how her parents never loved her and were always disappointed. and she was sent out at a very young age. Was she 13?
13. And they told her, they gave her like a loaf of bread and told her never to come back.
Yeah, get.
Oh my God. And then she was like, and I still went in for a hug, and they just left her hanging.
God.
My heart broke into a million pieces.
Absolutely. I can't. How could you not see? There's no part of me at all that could ever get rid of my child. Like, she could murder somebody and I'd be like, well, I still created her. It's probably my fault in some way. Like, I don't know. Like, I swear to God, I couldn't, there's no way. I don't understand. And honestly, that could be a metaphor for like any type of person or parent, rejecting their children for not living up to some kind of idea that they had in their head of what the child should be instead of what the child is. And that's so painful in general. Like, it makes me think of my mom when I came out to my mom about being a lesbian. I feel like she was fine with it. Like, when I came out, she was like, oh yeah, that's just like, that's a very Haley thing of you to do. But she thought that it was like, I'm sure she in her mind thought it was a phase. Yeah. And it didn't really like cement until I was like, no, I'm moving in with Marge. Like, I'm moving in with my now wife. But then we were just dating and I'm like, we're moving in together. I think I'm going to end up, I want to bring her home for holidays to be around my grandparents and like all that stuff. And she was like, wait, what? Wait, you were serious about that? I thought you were just joking. No, yes, obviously I was serious. I wasn't just like fooling around, like, but
it's not a phase, Mom.
But we had a conversation because I was frustrated and I think we argued when she reacted that way because I was like, we've already had this conversation. I don't understand why you're feeling this way now. And she was like, in her mind, and I don't know if this is, I understand it, but in her mind, her idea of the way that my life would look got completely altered.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she had a little girl and imagined me growing up and finding my prince and marrying a dude and having the traditional family and making grandbabies. And like, I've done all of that. Mm-hmm. I've just done that with a woman. Yeah. And so her entire like image of what my life looked like changed, and she had to have time to adjust to that.
Yeah, I don't know that my mom ever adjusted. And I don't know that me being gay was ever actually the problem. I really don't. Because, I mean, anyone with two eyeballs could see that one coming from a mile away. Let's just be real. I recently went through a lot of old pictures and found some like school pictures, and I was like, well, she's gay as fuck. Like middle school, listen, the call was coming from inside the house, guys. But like, I think my mom's problem was when she was told that she was having a little boy until the moment like they were like, oh, this is a girl. Like when I popped out. Yeah. And so as soon as like she reset her brain to, I just had a little girl, my mom's thought was like dresses and princesses and tea parties. Yeah. And I was anything but that. Yeah. Like, she would have been better off with the son they told her that she was having the whole time. Because that's basically what she got. Yeah. She got a son with boobs. Because I was like outside on four-wheelers and helping my dad in the shop and playing softball and getting in the dirt and all of that stuff. Yeah. And no matter how hard she tried, I just wasn't that girl that she pictured in her head. And I think till the day she died, that was always a disappointment to her, is that I wasn't girly, that I didn't like wearing dresses. And I don't think me marrying a woman was ever the problem. I think that I didn't pop out a bunch of grandchildren for her was a problem as well. So like, I get like, and I think even the best moms in the world, there's always a little bit of like fantasy there that you expect, and you have to like let go at some point of what you think this child, because you want
and
I can imagine as a parent you want nothing but the best and most wonderful life for your kid. And so I think some parents let go of that easier than others. And some of them don't at all.
Like as a parent, you can't have expectations because it's a completely, like, your child is a completely, like, it's its own human, you know, like it has,
that is a human with its own personality.
Like you can't be like, I wanted you to do this and then be disappointed when they don't.
Although you really had a mini me.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't, I replicated myself. Okay. I'm like Barbara Streisand and her dogs. I just cloned myself.
You just cloned yourself.
But, not on purpose. I don't know how that happened, honestly, but I guess the genes are strong. She's the exact same as me. But also, like...
That kid was in here before we started recording, and I was like, there's 2 Haleys in this room right now.
With her makeup. Yeah. 7 years old.
And her attitude.
She told me she wanted to be a celebrity makeup artist yesterday, so that's our
emphasis
new
probably on the
aspiration.
Celebrity.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, like that's the whole thing. As a parent, you can't, your expectations have to fall away. Like you can't have no ego.
Yeah.
There's no way to be like that. And I can't imagine looking at my child and being like, nope, you're not what I wanted. And just sending them off with bread.
Hers were because she wasn't making them rich. There was a seer that told her parents before her mom, I think, was even pregnant with her, that their daughter would have this great magic and bring them all this riches. And when she did not produce any magic, they were not happy about it. Right. And when she wasn't paying the bills with this magic that she was supposed to have, at some point they just got fed up and they kicked her out. And that's how she wandered all the way to Moss. Yeah. And ended up there where suddenly she made some flowers grow.
Yeah, because she was shown friendship.
Guess what happens when people love you?
Yeah, exactly.
You blossom.
That's the whole thing.
Literally,
like,
in this case.
She grew up being a child that was always disappointed. Like, or that her parents were always disappointed in her. Always. Like, one of my biggest fears as a human is to disappoint somebody. Like, I hate feeling like I've disappointed someone.
I want to throw up just thinking about feeling like that. I have
nightmares about being a disappointment. I don't know if that's like the millennial in me or like just some kind of like deep-seated, I don't know, like overachiever. I want to be the teacher's pet and I didn't do a good job. But I can just, the idea of growing up as a child and your parents continuously just being absolutely disappointed in you, how could that ever be the type of place where anything would flourish?
Yeah, no. Especially not to this degree that her parents were downright cruel to her in some ways.
Right.
And I think it even explains a little bit about why her magic, which you find out isn't actually garden magic, manifests as garden magic. And that's because one of the few happy memories she has is of her mom and her gardening together. Yeah. And so I think that just in her subconscious, she equates gardening with what little bit of happiness and love she got as a child.
Yeah.
But can we just talk about the ride or die friendship of Rosie and Clara? Those two are like proof that soulmates don't have to be romantic. Yes. Because I think they would take a bullet for each other and you can't convince me otherwise. Yeah. And there is like the support and love they show each other, especially Rosie to Clara, was just jumping off the page. It was amazing.
The very first time she ever showed any type of magic was literally because Rosie asked her,
was nice and loved to her. Yeah.
Like offered her a hand and was
and
like,
then,
do you
boom,
want to be
flowers.
friends? And then there's flowers everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's literally like the smallest crumb of like humanity. And she's like bursting at the seams. Yeah. And it just happened to manifest as flowers. And they were like, oh, garden magic, cool. Which, to be fair, she never says, I have garden magic.
Well, because she didn't think she had magic at all.
Right. She just lets everybody assume.
And she's not going to disappoint anybody else by telling them they're wrong.
Oh, my God. No. Can't live with that on your shoulders.
Yeah. These towns, though, Moss and Dwindle, seem like everyone there is so nice.
So nice. Have you ever seen... Okay.
Lovely.
Probably not. Probably not. Have you ever seen this movie called Brigadoon?
I've seen the play.
Okay, well, it's basically the same thing.
The musical Brigadoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first musical I ever saw. Yeah.
About the town that's like got a curse on it and it only appears like every 100 years or something. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my mind, it kind of like Dwindle kind of made me feel
Brigadoon vibes.
I
can see that now that you say it.
Just because
well, they purposely spread like bad rumors about themselves to keep this prince and the withering away to make themselves look less desirable. But that also cut them off completely from the rest of the world. Right. Because trade routes stopped. Visitors stopped coming in. And this town was so cute. The description when Hesper and Clara first walked down there, like walked down the main street, and the buildings are shaped like what they are. There's like a cobbler and the building is shaped like a boot. Yeah. And then like there's like a building shaped like a teapot. Yeah. And I'm like, it felt like Disneyland. Yeah. Like they just walked through like dilapidated Disneyland because also all the paint was peeling and everything was kind of gray. Right. But the people came out and were just like, had all this life that didn't match the grayness and the drabness and run down appearance of this town. And they were just so lovely. And Clara was like, these people are going to expect me to grow this garden. And I don't have a bit of magic in me.
Yeah.
And I lost the seeds that I was planning to use in a fire on the way.
On Irk Road.
Which was a whole thing. And so, like, she's there with, like, absolutely no way to grow this garden. And pretty much from the start is kind of trying to set expectations, which good for her.
Yeah.
But she was like, guys, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this.
Right.
And they were like, that's okay.
That's okay.
Just give it a shot.
Whatever you can do.
We're just happy you're here.
Yeah.
And I was like almost in tears with how nice these freaking people were.
Yeah. They're like, we're just happy that you actually showed up.
They're like bringing her things and like the first day and they're like, get settled in. We're not going to bother you. We just want to drop off this feast and all these tools and just leave you be.
Yeah. Do what you can.
Yeah.
If you can only grow a radish, we will eat the radish.
We will eat that one radish.
Yeah.
Everybody in town's going to share this one radish.
Yeah, and we'll be happy about it.
Yeah. And so I just loved this town. I loved Moss until she got to Dwindle.
Yeah.
And then I loved Dwindle so much.
Well, they're just so appreciative.
Yeah.
And just so welcoming and grateful. Like, I mean, it would be so terrible to have to cut yourself off from the rest of the world to keep yourself, like self-preservation. But honestly, that could be a metaphor for Clara in general. Like her...
You hate a runner. Let's just talk about it.
Listen, okay. Clara did get on my nerves a couple of times. And that's only because I think this is something that's very like... It's one of my like core beliefs or core values, maybe only in like characters, because in real life, I'm not always going to do what I say I'm about to do. You know, like in real life, I'm not always going to be the person that's like, I'm going to stay here and work this out. Sometimes I'm a runner too. Sometimes I'm going to like dip for a while and like, I'll, circle back.
Right.
But in books and like, I'm just
You have no patience for
no
them.
patience whatsoever when I'm just like, let yourself.
I was reading this book and I was like, oh, this is going to be Ladies in Hating and Balancing Act all over again. She is going to be so pissed off at Clara because Clara keeps shutting everybody down.
Shutting everybody out. And I understand, I understand trauma. I understand the need to heal. And I understand that sometimes when you're healing or you're still living in your trauma, you don't have the capability to step outside of yourself and say, hey, maybe healing would be opening myself up to another love. Or maybe healing could look like me trying to have a friend or trying to be completely honest with this person that's across from me that really wants me to be honest with them. But you can't do that when you're living in the trauma or you're still living in your, like, if you're still going through your healing. I understand that. But from the outside looking in, I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, can you please just give in a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, all of these people love you.
Give it a shot. See what happens.
Yeah, even with Rosie, we talked about their magnificent friendship, but she shut her out for the first, 2 weeks that they were... Like, after she had got sent on the quest. It was like the
day before she left, before she let Rosie in. Because she just couldn't handle the emotions of...
And she didn't want to tell her, I don't have garden magic. Because she'd
she
been
was
living
fail.
that lie.
And she was truly believed that if she failed and she couldn't grow this garden in Dwindle, she was never going to see Moss again.
Right.
Because there was going to be a punishment.
Some kind.
Nobody knew. But Eldrine was going to dole out some sort of punishment. And Clara was for certain it would involve not coming back here.
Right, because that is where her heart is.
Yeah.
Moss was where
that was her
heart
home.
is. Yeah, her home. And it's the only place that she'd ever felt loved and cared for. But that was the whole thing. I was just like, how are you not hanging out with your friend if you seriously think that you're never going to come back?
And I was never going to see my friend again like that, I'd be every freaking day. All day.
But again, there she is, a 13-year-old girl going in for a hug and her parents like pushing her away. Yeah. In her mind, she's
like, I'm just not going to go in for the hug.
Yeah,
I'm
not going to go in
set
for the
myself
hug.
Up for that.
I'm gonna just hold myself together. There's even a quote, one of the opening line attempts, which by the way I was obsessed with.
Obsessed.
At the beginning of every chapter, there is an opening line attempt for the book that Clara is writing, because she said that even a gardener needs a hobby.
I don't think she ever got past these opening lines.
They're so good, but this is opening line attempt 89, and it says, the best way to mend a broken heart is to never let it near hurt again, which is absolutely the opposite of what you need to do. Like, you can't just never open your heart again.
You gotta get back up on that horse.
You gotta get back on the horse, like you're never gonna... Okay, I was about to go way into that metaphor, or that... just reel it back. Anyway, I just wanted her... Hesper was there and willing and open the whole time. Like, there was never a moment where she was like, you know, I don't want to be here, or I don't want to be your protector. She was just like, I'm
this
here,
is my job,
I'm here to support you.
Really good.
And she knew that she didn't have garden magic. And she said it early on. She was like,
you don't have garden magic.
Garden magic smells like dirt.
You don't smell like
dirt. We need to talk about what she does like to smell in a minute. But she was like, you don't smell like that. You smell like sunshine.
I love how Hesper met her wherever she was.
Yeah.
Like, Hesper pushed her, but only as far as she should have been pushed.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man.
And even the one time that they argued so awful and Hesper said really ugly things to her, she did it.
It was on purpose
she knew that
to push her. Yeah.
She knew that it would spark her magic.
She was just trying to prove, because Clara, she kept telling Clara that when her emotions got big, whatever that, good or bad, that flowers grew.
Yeah.
And there were multiple instances of this on their journey. Mm-hmm. And Clara was like, no, it was a coincidence. That flower was already there, or whatever.
Again,
or
like, Jesus, give yourself some credit.
She would not believe that it was her. And so in desperation, Hesper did the only thing that she could think to do, which was just really piss her off.
Yeah.
And to do that, she said some really nasty things.
Yeah.
But it worked, because plants just bursting out of the ground all around them while it was happening. And she was like, you can't deny this was you.
Yeah.
Now.
I did this on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for what I said. But
Nestleberry bush
this.
that's bigger than the house. That was you, homie.
Yeah.
And finally, Clara was like, okay, you're right. And she's like,
right.
also, I didn't mean any of those things. I'm sorry. I love you.
She didn't say I love you.
She didn't say I love you, but we
wanted her to say I love you.
It was unimplied, but it was there.
Yeah.
One quick thing about your, like, the opening line attempts.
Yeah.
Those were fantastic. Some of my favorite quotes out of the book were those. And they were at the beginning of every chapter. However, the only problem that I had with this book, and it was a decently aggravating one. I will say this.
Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a
9.
Oh my God. Okay.
In that because it was on every single page. Because, as we've established, I read the book physically.
Yes.
And so I never encountered this in a book before. The main body of text was in a normal font. I'm not one of these savants that can tell you what font it was by just looking at it, but it was a normal one.
Yeah.
But the page numbers and those opening line attempts at the beginning of every chapter were in a different font. And my eyeballs glitched so hard trying to read it. I am sure it is a me thing and a my brain thing, and not you didn't have any problem with it.
I didn't. I love
and you had
font.
A physical copy of the book. And so, but I couldn't tell you what page I was on because I couldn't tell the 3s from the 8s. So, and you were like, do you need glasses? And I was like, I had glasses on. Leave me alone. Get off my lawn.
Listen, okay, if that's the only negative you have about this book,
that was 100%.
That's nothing to do with the book.
Yeah.
It's
but
only
also,
to do with
just
the font.
listen, authors and editors and whoever else makes these decisions, just think about us old people
that are
and our
already
bifocals. And how these fonts are going to affect us, okay? Because I couldn't tell you what page I was on the entire time I was reading this. But yeah, they were fantastic. Those quotes were.
The opening line attempts were some of my favorite quotes. Like they were so good. They were just so, and it was always like inner monologue again. Like I loved living inside of Clara's head. I loved being there. I had I feel like everything that she said, I was just like, yep, yeah. But also, I really, really wanted her to give in to her desires a lot sooner than she did.
She gave in to some of them on the journey a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, we had that whole wagon scene.
Yeah, but that was the whole thing. Like, this book had spice, and the spice was so good, so fantastic. I was just like, oh my God, when's it going to happen? I need it to happen.
Yeah.
But also, I love yearning. I can just read a whole book of yearning.
God.
Yearning is the best.
I can't. I need the payoff.
No,
but the yearning in this was top tier.
It was so good. And like the tension of them, like, I don't know, like, just like the touching of a hand, or like her hand was resting on her lower back.
Or she was chopping wood in a tunic that only came mid-thigh.
Yeah, that. All of that. And then like Clara's internal like gay panic. Not gay panic, but just panic in general of like, oh my God, like I'm not attracted to this because I'm not going to be attracted to this.
I'm not supposed to like this person.
I don't like her. I'm angry, but she's so fucking hot. I just, I ate it up. I did. I loved it.
Yeah. I just found my favorite opener out of the entire thing. Okay. And I feel like if I were to write one, this would have been the one that I would have written. An all expenses paid craft shop visit is foreplay. There is no other explanation.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
100% yes. You give me an unlimited budget in a craft store.
Oh, man.
Or a bookstore.
Definitely going to get laid.
100% yes. 100%
Whatever you want.
I do want to touch on something else I do think the author did really well. And it was a small thing, but it felt very intentional. And that was, for lack of a better term, I'm going to call them pop culture references.
Okay.
Because I don't know what else to call them. But there were multiple times in this book that there were things that were said that it was like you took something modern and made it fantasy. You made it relevant to this time period.
Yeah.
So like instead of saying something lived rent free in her head, Clara said something lived coin free in my head.
Yeah.
And then
I loved those too.
And then they were at the inn on their journey, and she like stole all the like free little toiletries, which who doesn't do that? If you stay in a hotel and you don't take the mini shampoos and shit, why are you even staying in a hotel? You paid for those, take them with you. And if they're like carts out in the hallway with more, grab a handful on your way out.
I don't know about that. But the ones that are in my room, I'm definitely going to
There's
take.
one hotel that I stay in when I travel a lot. Most of the hotels don't do that anymore now. They're like just big bottles in the shower or whichever, which kind of creeped me out.
Yeah.
But there are some hotels that still do that. And there was one, and I can't remember which hotel it was, but whatever shampoo and conditioner they used smelled delicious. So I will admit that if the cart was outside, I would take a couple extra. Not a lot, just a couple, because it smelled so good. Anyway, that's on me. Sorry, whatever Marriott or Hilton or whatever family of hotels that was. My bad. But your shit smelled good. Which is also something we got to talk about in this book. But
oh my god,
yeah. And then there was one more where it was the opener. It said canonically the easiest way to get over the person you slept with is to move into a dream cottage with them for at least 3 to 4 business weeks. I use that like term, like, oh my gosh, that meeting lasted 3 to 5 business years. Like I say that all the time, like something along those lines. So when I read that, I was like, holy shit, that's my favorite. So thanks, Summer.
Yeah. I love that.
Felt like a little bit of me in there. So let's talk about the smell.
Okay. So I don't know, like you didn't have the same kind of visceral response that I did. You didn't freak out the way that I did. And I read this book first, again, very out of character for me. And so I didn't like the fact that when I was reading things, you hadn't read it yet, because then I can't talk about it. And I was like, well, how? You were like,
text me as soon as you get to this part.
And then you didn't even freak out.
Okay. I was like, I'll text you 3 to 4 business weeks when I read this.
But it's the part in the book where we've talked about a couple of times where she's chopping wood, and she's chopping wood because she thinks that Clara might want a hot bath. So she has a bathtub outside, which sounds absolutely marvelous, but you have to heat up.
That sounds atrocious to me.
Well, no, it's behind her little cottage, and she's just outside amongst the garden and like in the tub. That sounds amazing, and nobody's going to see her unless... Also, she said that what did she do? She made these plants like bloom if somebody knocked on the door.
Yeah, but then she also said if they just walk around the house, that doesn't work, so...
Whatever. I mean, everybody bathes, right? We all have bodies. Anyway, so she did want a bath, but she was like, well, shit, I didn't cut any firewood, so I can't have a hot bath. And then she hears thwack outside, and she's like, who's cutting firewood? She goes outside. Hesper's cutting firewood in her tunic.
That only comes down to mid-thigh.
Right. It only comes down to her thigh, and she's looking all lumberjack lesbian out there, doing her due diligence to try to cut up.
Sweat dripping all over the place.
With her cute little scar above her lip. I could just... Anyway, Clara comes outside and she's like, I wonder why you're cutting wood, And so Hesper says, I noticed your wash bin sparkled, so I assumed you must wash every day. She reset a new stump bigger than the last, and with her arms up high in the air, she murmured, what a shame. Clara says, why? I asked, blinking dumbly as I watched her back muscles bunch for another hit. Thwack. The stump cleaved in two like butter. She turned toward me, wiping a smear of sweat from her upper lip with the back of her hand. I like the smell. She said, I like the smell. Did you hear what I said?
I heard it. I also read it. The multiple times you texted it to me and in the book.
Listen, Listen, you didn't react the way that I reacted. Like, I needed more from you, okay?
I'm sorry. I disappointed you, Mom.
I needed more from you, and you did not give it to me. I was like, I like the smell, question mark?
I mean, okay, first of all, Hesper is the queen of dropping these like innuendo laced one-liners with like the most nonchalance possible.
That's true.
Like,
and I mean,
in the middle of like all this other stuff, and then she's gonna drop, and I like the smell.
I like the smell. I like the smell. Also, like she can smell magic. So if she can smell magic, imagine how her nose is like with normal sense, you know?
Right.
Like she's like a fucking bloodhound, bro. And I like the smell. That she likes the smell when they don't wash every day.
Yeah.
She wants to. Okay. I just listen.
You got tore up over this one.
I did, and it was so soon in the book. Like they weren't even on the quest yet.
They still were pretending to hate each other, or Clara was still pretending to hate Hesper. When you texted me that, you didn't tell me like where in the book to expect that line. Mm-mm. And so I'm reading the book and I get to it and I had to stop and like double take. I was like, was this what she was talking about? Because I honestly expected it to be way farther in the book and then be way farther on this.
I think that's why it took me also
enemies to lovers quest or whatever that they were on.
That's just so forward. You know what I mean? Like that's just like,
I mean, that's a thing to drop about yourself when you've just met someone that you are going to have to be that close with for a month and a half to 2 months at this point. Like,
Okay. Well, let's just talk about that then, because they're going on a quest. They're not going to shower every day. They're not going to have a wash basin. So these bitches are going to be dirty. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the only time they bathed is probably like in the ocean with the mermaids. Well, yeah. And that's not even a bath. That's just like
and then that time that they fucked in the rain. But
well, yeah, that time. Jesus Christ. I feel like their sexual exploits were so like not far-fetched, because I mean, I totally believe them, but like in a carriage on Urk Road and then like during a thunderstorm outside with like, I don't know.
Keep the door open.
Yeah, like, okay. Like, are we just going to have like normal sex now?
No, absolutely
They're
not.
never going to have normal sex.
Oh, you know,
like,
they did though.
Yeah.
There was that one scene towards the end where it was like real sweet, like a morning thing, and you didn't get the full. It was kind of like it faded to black, but you knew what was about to happen.
Super sweet. But I mean, like, sweet. How do you top a thunderstorm?
Like, I don't know. Ask Hesper. She was topping all kinds of stuff in this book.
I don't know. Like, I like the smell just like threw me.
Yeah.
I talked to
you were tore up.
I was just like, how am I going to talk about this? Because like, the way that my mouth fell open, I was like, oh. Well,
I could hear you squeak in the text message.
Yeah, like I was like, but also like fucking hot, because like, let's be honest, it's just not something we don't say that out loud. Like, it's just things that I don't say out loud. I don't know. I was just like, holy fucking shit, this bitch is gonna be trouble. Fucking trouble. You know what I mean? And she was, in the best way.
I will say, we've talked about books in the past feeling like they were longer than what they actually were.
Yeah.
This one felt spicier than it actually was. I think part of it was the wonderful tension and flirtatiousness and Hesper saying shit like, I like the smell. Yeah. You know, and stuff like that.
Clara even says like everything she says sounds like a euphemism.
And it
did.
But I think that it was just the spice that was there was so good. Yeah. That it just felt like there was much more of it. Because there was only 2 real good spicy scenes. Yeah. In this entire book.
To be honest, I mean, to be fair, this whole book takes place over what, like a month and a half?
Yeah.
So I mean,
true.
Right.
Yeah.
So like,
but I just feel like, to me, it like when I closed the book at the end, I was like, damn, that was spicy. And then I got to thinking about like the scenes. And I was like, well, there's only 2 of them. Yeah. It just like, I think it was just that good that it felt more than what was literally on the page.
You were satiated.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Ditto. Also, like, before we sign off, because we've been chatting forever, we loved this book. I could sit here and talk about all the different idiosyncrasies of it forever.
Well, we're going to get to talk about it some more.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah, we are.
Well, there's one instance in here that she used the word kerfuffle.
Oh.
Like, I don't know which character. I think Clara just thought it maybe. Yeah. But anyway, some are bonus points for pulling that word out. I'm putting it in regular rotation now.
Kerfuffle.
I'll be like, oh man, I got to tell you about this kerfuffle at work today.
I don't know why it sounds like a bird tussle to me. Like kerfuffle sounds like there are feathers involved.
I don't know.
In
it
some
feels
way.
like someone physically had like the cutest little altercation.
Like a cute. Oh, what a cute little altercation.
Little kerfuffle. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a bird tussle.
A bird tussle. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Oh, we didn't even talk about. We can't sign off yet.
Okay.
We got to talk about Edge and what was the hedgehog's name? Wardy. And then becoming like best friends.
Yeah.
So Clara has a little.
It's like a familiar.
Yeah, a familiar. He's a hedgehog named Wardy. He loves to snack, loves a cracker, gets crumbs everywhere. He is a trip. And then you meet Hesper's familiar, which is a crow named Edge who talks.
Yeah. So cool.
So cool. And they become fast friends.
Right.
And I feel like I kind of want like a side book of just the adventures of Edge and Wardy.
Like what happened while he was flying him around.
Yeah. All the things
quest.
that you don't like, because there's times where Clara and Hesper were like traveling on the ground, like in a wagon or walking, and Edge was flying with Wardy. And you know that there was like conversations happening. There were adventures that were happening. Things were happening.
They slept in a tree.
Need that story.
Yeah, that's so
also
cute.
So Summer, please, if you want to do like a little novella or something, I am here for
Edge
it.
and Morty.
Yeah, if you want like a beta reader or whatever, I volunteer as tribute.
That sounds so cute.
The Edge and Wardy side quest.
Yeah,
book.
and then you find out that Wardy can talk too. It's
He was from Starfall, just like
Cute.
Hesper and all the other magical creatures were.
Fey creatures, yeah. So he was part of the magic. But when Thanadin, which we haven't even talked about, the terrible prince who created the withering magic and all that shit.
That asshole.
He doesn't even need any screen time.
He's also honestly not in the book. They talk about him, but he is supposedly dead. You find out, spoiler alert, at the end that he's not until he's vanquished.
Which that part was really scary.
It was scary. It was also super short, though.
It was short. But if I saw it, like in my head, it was terrifying.
It was terrifying.
If I saw it on a screen, it would be absolutely terrifying.
So,
but it was really short, so we didn't have to like deal with the bad guy too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when Thanadin was actually vanquished, Wardy got his voice back.
Yeah.
Because the magic, like,
the animals from Starfall got there, and he could float.
He could
levitate, fly,
like
whatever.
A floating hedgehog? Come on.
Also, I think, along with the Edge and Wardy novella side quest book, I need to know if there is going to be The Impossible Garden of Clara Thorne Part 2. Because this book was left in a way that there could be more.
Yeah.
Because Eldrine allows Hesper to stay with Clara, even though she's technically bonded to Eldrine and the forest train.
Yeah.
But she has to go on any quest that Eldrine sends her on, and the first quest she has to go on is to find her dragon,
right?
Which she didn't know was still alive, and bring all these dragons back, and like it sounds like kind of train them or wrangle them or domesticate them or something.
They went rogue,
and like that's going to be a whole thing.
Know all about
what happens with Dwindle. They've still got to fight off the Withering, even though the prince is gone.
They like ruined the town on accident.
Yeah, they got to rebuild that shit.
They got to rebuild the cute little town,
the little teapot looking building.
Yeah,
so there's
so much I want to know.
So much to go on to.
Yeah,
Summer
Part 2.
Part 2. And the novella.
Yes, please. Speaking of Summer, today we are having an interview with Summer, and we're going to talk more about The Impossible Garden of Clara Thorne and her writing technique and how she put it all together.
And your love of her social media.
And she actually gardens, and she does theater, and I
feel like I've had my fangirl moments a couple times on here. I feel like this is going to be your fangirl moment. Like you're going to have so much fun.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited to listen to the two of you yap together.
It's going to be great. I can't wait. And we'll have that episode out mid-June. So everybody will get to know a little behind the scenes on the author and her writing process and more about Clara Thorne, because it was fantastic. And like I said, I could talk about it forever.
And do you want to tell the people what our next book will be for our next episode?
Our next book episode will come out on July 1st, and we're reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah.
Super excited about it. We've both read this one before, but I want to go back and read it again. I actually
think I listened to this one.
I listened to a lot of it. I will say, I listened to a lot of this book. Yeah. And I loved the audiobook narrator. Sometimes she sounded like Keira Knightley, though. And I don't know what it was, but I was just like, why?
You're like, it wasn't a bad thing.
It wasn't a bad thing. I mean, she was fantastic, and everything was very like she was very animated.
You said you really liked the voice she did for Hesper, too.
I loved Hesper's voice. I loved they all had quirky little voices, like because they're all quirky little characters, like all the townsfolk and all that.
Yeah.
But sometimes she slipped into like Keira Knightley's, circa Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was like, where am I right now? And I was just like, and then she would check out of it, and I'd be like, oh, we're back. Okay, cool. But I was like, Keira Knightley keeps popping up in this book, and I don't know what's happening. So bonkers.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it.
But The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, one of the few books that I didn't see the twist coming.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's so also a book. I don't cry often in books, and Evelyn Hugo did make me cry. I remember crying over this book. So we're stoked about crying again. It's going to be great.
Get your tissues ready, people. It's going to be a ride.
Yeah. Perfect for summer.
Well, thanks for listening and being here with us again. We really appreciate all the support and the comments that we get and everybody reposting our stuff. So yeah, stay tuned for the interview dropping with Summer.
See you next time.